Hello, everyone. I am Alyssa, and I am one of the 2021 to 2022 Gap Year ambassador for CanGap. So today in this video, we're going to discuss how to conclude our gap year on a with acceptance and on a satisfactory note. Where I am going to introduce you three methods that really helped me to accept that, oh, my gap year has ended and continue to the next chapter of my life. So let's get going. So, number one, processing emotionally. At this point, if you're watching this, I am thinking that you are about to conclude your gap year. So, at this point, you might have a lot of conflicting feelings, for example, stress or anxiety about your next chapter in life or whatever comes in the future, that uncertainty. And maybe a little bit of regret, also possibly for those who didn't do something that they wanted to do in their gap year, or maybe for those whose gap year didn't go exactly how they wanted it to go. But perhaps your gap year also went exactly how you wanted it to go as well, and that's completely okay as well. All right. So some methods for processing these emotions, like for me, is writing, documenting, or like filmmaking these kind of emotional struggles, I would say, that you are currently experiencing. For example, I created this around 10 minutes of a documentary kind of styled video summarizing the events that led up to my gap year decision and also outlined my future outlook after my gap year. So for those of you who didn't know, I work with a lot of students through like tutoring. And that kind of changed my perspective a little bit and essentially my entire gap year experience. I wanted to document it. So that really like helped me to process the emotion and feeling. So that's something I encourage you to do. So number two, for those of you or for everyone actually, there must be some ups and downs in your gap year. And how are we going to conclude our gap year thinking about those? So for the ups in our gap year, I say understand that they will occur many, many, many times in your life and in the future. And you'll have countless of those moments of pure delight that maybe is even better than what you had experienced this year and will hit you when you least expect. So that is definitely something to look forward to. Whereas for the downs, just understand that, like acknowledge that it happened, but prevent it from really weighing down your any kind of future ambitions and dreams. And acknowledge that whatever you felt about those downs in your gap year was completely okay, was completely valid. And it's definitely something that everyone experiences as a person growing up, all the downs in their life, and understand that, okay, it will definitely help you grow. For example, how I dealt with the downs of my gap year. So, as I was working with clients, working with students, there were a couple of them that definitely had a lot of different perspective or different values than I did. So, as they gave me a lot of requests on things that they believe is beneficial, but which in terms like I accepted, I realized I started to lose myself a bit. And but however, that is a process that I have already thought over, and I acknowledge, okay, it happened, and in the future, then I will be able to know how to deal with certain situations. So, and it's never your fault that you have like any kind of bad experience or certain bad experience happen to you. And it's okay to forgive yourself or forgive um, whatever happened as well if you feel like it's forgivable. Okay, so number three, embracing the uncertainty. So if you really think about it, at this point in life, well, you just finished high school and took a year off from school, and probably you're around the 17 to 19th age group at the moment. So that is just around like not even a quarter of your life. So you have such a long journey ahead of you. And through this gap year, I believe whatever happened, you have already realized that, hey, like 1 year in your life, like a lot of things can change. So you have maybe like 60, 80 years around still in your life. So imagine how many things can change in these years and how many things can just work out in these years. Um, and with effort, like whatever you are doing, gonna do for after your gap year, there will definitely be rewards as well. As in, if you put effort in anything, you will reap the rewards sometimes in life, and everything will work out eventually. So one way to help you feel this way, feel more secure and where you are in life if you need it, is looking back at how far you've come so far. So I'll give you an example. So as an immigrant child, I had periods of instability in my childhood where I had to reintegrate into a new community. And at that point, I really clearly remember having the thought of what if things don't work out. So, but however, like after all these years, at this point, I am already studying at one of the top universities and doing surprisingly well. So everything started working out. And now looking back, I can't help but think why I worried so much. So another thing to ask yourself is that do you trust yourself? Do you trust your current self for getting you where you want to be in life? And if the answer is yes, I feel like that will help calm you down in whatever uncertainty you face in the future. So that's it for this video, and don't forget to check out more videos in the CanGap channel, and there are a lot of ambassadors there as well, creating videos on different topics that will hopefully help you in anything that you need. And as well as check out the CanGap website. There are many, many, many resources, and definitely there are some resources on how to transition from gap year into university if that is what you are planning to do. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.